When I think of a responsible parent, I'm thinking of someone who is making sure that their children is well bathed, has a stable place to live, has positive surroundings and plenty of love in their environment.
Someone who's always on top, puts their kids first, not anybody else. Their kids always need to be first.
Probably making, 3 meals a day, making sure they got clothes, making sure, they're well taken care of before your own needs, you know what I mean? That would be probably a successful parent, in my opinion.
When I think of responsible parent, I think it's just any parent who makes sure their kids are straight. Like, it don't have to be materialistic things. Like, you're always there for your child. They can talk to you about anything.
When I think of the term responsible parent, I think of someone who is loving and attentive to their child or children's needs, but also someone who tries to anticipate what their child or children's needs may be.
What comes to mind for me when we talk about responsible parenting is having a functional relationship with the co-parent. Whether you are in a romantic relationship or not, the priority is the child's well-being and making decisions from that aspect, doing what's best for the young person.
To me, a responsible parent would be a parent that does what's in their child's best interest, even if they're not getting along with the other parent. I think parents are sometimes inclined to withhold parenting time if they're not getting along with the other parent, but this would be doing what's in your child's best interest.
So Lori's view of a responsible parent, or what a responsible parent is someone who is there for the child. Maybe not physically, right? So sometimes parents are unable to be physically with their child, but emotional support, that the child can count on them for what they need to guide them through life. That's what a responsible parent is to me.
Maybe there are some people out there that are ready to be parents, but I think that it's definitely a learning experience. And there's not a one set example of what a responsible parent is. It differentiates between our cultures and our societies and even in just our personal belief systems here in the United States.
I don't really want to get to be a parent without really knowing how to parent. I want to learn how to deal with all of the pros and cons about it.
How do I learn to be a responsible parent? One of the things I was always taught growing up in Indigenous community is that we go to our elders and we seek that information from them. We bring them our asema and we ask those difficult questions and guidance on that path to parenthood.
As a parent, from my experience, what I've learned is being patient with myself first, then with the child, and with the child's mother. Asking questions from other experienced parents. You have to try and fail in some areas. I think, me personally, I learned from TV shows, whether it was Leave It to Beaver, I'm a little older, The Huxtables, different examples of what Hollywood said parenting was, looking at examples in my community of what I thought healthy parenting was. And that was a collage of parenting approaches. Some families were married, some families lived separately in different households. Some people were raised by their grandparents. So intergenerational approaches I think is helpful because our elders have a wealth of wisdom that we can gather. Use a combination of approaches. There's different learning styles. Some of us are hands-on, experienced. Some of us are audio. We like to listen and learn. Some of us are visual. Look to academics, look to books. You can access videos on YouTube and talk to fathers. Go to barbershops. If you see a man on the street with a stroller, ask him some questions. You'll be surprised how many people would offer their experience and insight if you just asked.
When someone has trauma, you either gotta work through it. It could either shape someone into being a better person or parent for their child, or some people actually relapse and actually do the same thing to their child.
From what I've seen, you go on life based on what you were taught. So if your parents wasn't responsible or they wasn't there for you, it's really hard for a person to be responsible with their kids because that's what they learned. So they gonna do what they learned and what they grew up with.
I would say that I'm fortunate enough to have taught a responsible fatherhood parent curriculum in a state prison facility. In doing so, I learned a lot about what are the challenges that parent may face when trying to be a responsible parent or learn how to be one, and you're still within the system. One of the biggest things is access to your child. You are limited in your ability to communicate and have these even play dates and homework study sessions that you would normally have. So you have to be a lot more creative in your approach.
So one way to stay connected is to write letters to your kids. When my kids were little, they absolutely loved getting mail, right? So write letters, even if it's just a couple words or a picture, and send those to your children. Another way is phone calls, and talk to your kids. Maybe read the same book and talk about that book with your child, or talk about what they're doing in school. Kids do so much better if both their parents are engaged in their school. So take advantage of that.
I'll be very honest in understanding that the system is not designed typically to support responsible or healthy parenting. But I think it does take an individual's desire to want to be a responsible parent, to want to be a loving parent, to overcome that. So I give all the kudos in the world to any parent who wants to be a responsible parent. That's a huge step in the right direction, and they deserve all the support that they can get to do that.